All right, cool. Well, I think, just from seeing y'all press conference, I think that y'all probably got a lot of people shaking in their boots,
Well,
because your
thank
partner,
that's I
it,
take that as a real compliment coming from you, honestly, because I really what I've and I'm gonna watch more of your stuff too because like I said, the level of analysis is just this case is unlike I've never done a case because it doesn't really get much bigger than this in terms of we're talking the number one selling hip hop artist of all time. We're talking one of the most significant cultural events of the last 30 years. There's so many books and movies and everything, and it's like it's own subgenre of podcasts and everything like that. So there's so much, there's I don't want to say there's too much information out there because I look at it as a blessing that people like you have been on this case for so long and put so much time and effort into analyzing these things because you know it, if we were starting from just trying to sort all this out without guys like you that have been putting in the time, it would be a lot harder, to be honest.
yeah, I appreciate that. And your partner has an impeccable reputation. So yeah, y'all gonna Batman and Robin this one, you know.
Yeah, I mean, we like we both really want to win this. You want to win every case, but we're I think excited about it, um and his we just see eye to eye on so many different things. Um and I'm very, very positive about, a lot of people. And again, I always try to say, we're not trying to try this in the media. So, you're not going to hear me make my best argument for, like it's like a closing argument or anything like that. All we really want is for people to, evidence is only that which is said at the trial. Everything else that's charges, there's no evidence until the trial starts. You know what I
Right.
mean? So we just want, it's innocent till proven guilty. It's the state's burden. Just, you know, just give us a chance to have that clean slate. Just give us a chance to, let's see what the evidence is. Let's see, see what our response is and just start from an even playing field. That's all we want.
Cool. Now, I'm gonna ask you a few questions because I know you can't really say too much, right? But the first thing that everybody is saying is, well, Keefe D said he did it, or Dwayne Davis, and um, he wrote a book saying he did it. He did all these interviews saying he did it, right? And my defense to that, not to try to give you any help, but there's I want to show you something, right? There's an R&B artist by the name of Brandy, right? Are you familiar with her?
Hmm. Absolutely.
Okay, right. Brandy, who is huge, right? She now Keefe D, he went on the Art of Dialogue. He went on Cam Capone, Vlad TV, and he told these stories, which I feel he's lying because he can't remember some of the questions that he was asked from his own book, which make me feel like he never even read the book, yet alone wrote it, right?
Mm.
So um people think that just because he said these things that he couldn't be lying, right? I'm gonna show you something. Maybe y'all can use this in your defense. Right? Now check this out, right? You have Brandy here who got on Oprah, who's way bigger than Vlad, Cam Capone, all that. She's the cream of the crop, right?
Yes.
Brandy got on Oprah and lied about being married, right? And not only did she lie, she has her mother there to co-sign the lie, her father to co-sign the lie, and the guy who she supposedly had married co-signed this lie, right? I want you to watch this. It's not long. Check this
Okay.
out.
Yeah, yeah. Let's watch.
all grown up, 23. As you can see, she is grown, and we recently learned that she got married and she's married now.
Yes.
And is expecting a baby girl this summer. I know. You have a shot of this, just the tiniest little belly showing.
Yeah.
But it's actually, what, 6 months?
6 months.
Yeah. We're here with Brandy and her mother, Sonia. It was recently revealed that Brandy had a secret wedding last summer. Not even Brandy's parents knew about it. So what did you think when Brandy told you the news?
I was not as shocked.
You were not?
No, I was not.
As shocked as we were. Okay.
Right. I remember one day we were standing in the driveway, remember? And she and Robert were playing around. And my husband and I said, when are you guys going to get married? And they said, we are already. And then my husband and I looked at each other and I said, Brand, for real? And she said, and so then my husband stepped to Robert and then Robert.
And what'd you say?
Dad? I said, no, you guys aren't. I said, I might have to get my shotgun.
Wow.
That's promoting violence.
Brandy's husband, Robert, is here in our audience. Hi, Robert.
Hello.
You wanted to keep it a secret? Why'd you guys want to keep it a secret?
We basically just didn't want to make a big deal about it. I'm kind of like just a private person, and it wasn't really a thing where we wanted the whole world to know we was getting married. It was just between us. It was, just a few of us.
So shy.
He's shy. He's shy. So you finally found somebody that treats you the way God loves you.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's fabulous.
Yeah.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Now, that was her on Oprah telling her that she got married, telling the world, just like Keefe D got on there and told this story about he killed Tupac, right? And now years later, once it comes out that she lied about it, she goes back on Oprah. Now watch.
Time you were on the Oprah show, you told me a little fib, did you not?
It wasn't a little fib.
It was a big fib.
It was a big
It
fib.
was a big fib. Brandy is now all grown up, 23. As you can see, she is grown, and we recently learned that she got married and she's married now.
Yes.
And is expecting a baby girl this summer. I know. You have a shot of this, just the tiniest little belly showing.
Yeah.
But it's actually, what, 6 months?
6 months.
Yeah. I asked you if you were married at the time, and you said you
Yes.
were.
I said that I was
And
married.
why did you say that?
Because, at that time, being pregnant out of wedlock was not a trend. It was not something that people praised. It was a sin.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt like I could not be honest about that. I felt the pressure of,
It's okay.
okay, I felt the pressure of, again, having to be perfect.
Mm-hmm.
And I was scared. I thought that everything that I had worked hard for and everything that I worked to build, the image that I worked so hard to build was threatened.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt like having a child out of wedlock
Would ruin that.
ruin
Would ruin that.
my career, everything that I had built.
Yeah.
And I'm really sorry for that, because you just don't lie to Oprah. Okay.
And I believed you.
Yeah.
I believed you because I just believed you. I believed what you were saying.
So What do you think about that?
Well, okay, here what I think about that is, I was not familiar with that, but when I was watching it the first time, knowing that it was a lie, I know it's easy for me to say this since you played both clips, but had you asked me why do you think she lied, I would have guessed it was because of the baby. Because why else would a person lie about that? And that's the thing about a person lying or telling the truth. Some people want to believe this narrative like people are liars, like there's some people always lie or some people always tell the truth. But I think the more realistic belief is that people lie. Ordinary people lie in ordinary circumstances. But now, if we're talking about extraordinary circumstances, people would lie in extraordinary ways, you know? And so, yeah, we always have to look at the motivation behind why people would say, what they say, whether it's true. And there sometimes there's a grain of truth in a lie. Like let's take Brandy for instance. Maybe maybe she felt like the lie, told a certain truth, like that she had that her relationship with the man that she had the baby with, she felt like shouldn't be viewed in that certain light, right? Now, this doesn't apply obviously to Keefe D, but this is taking a realist view of why a person might be motivated to say something other than the truth.
Right. Well, in her case, in opposite of Keefe D's case, it's still financial gain because she don't want to ruin her brand to damage her brand to stop her from getting money, right? So
Right.
in Keefe D's case, he could be lying for financial gain, right? And
What
just to
and
say,
Yes, and there could be mixed motives because if we're talking about statements that have been made over a series of time, a person can have one motive for saying something one time, and then the other time it could have a financial element to it. We have to look at we have to look at it holistically, look at every single factor that went into why that person made that statement. It's not, people want to oversimplify things and just say, oh, this was a lie, this was the truth, this person is a liar, this person is a truth teller. But I think that under the right circumstances, there'd be plenty of people that might, find, maybe they would be surprised to find that they would be telling something other than the truth as well.